Good afternoon, and welcome on behalf of the Overby Center for Southern Journalism and Politics. Delighted to see this good turnout this afternoon. Lots of thanks to our two candidates who are back with us. We had them here this spring, and we've got quite an increase in interest this time. I think this is the most cameras I have seen at any event here at any of our programs. Before we get started, I know I see Wally Pang in the audience. Is Mr. Wages here also? I just want to recognize them. Good. Thank you both for coming. These are two other candidates. They'll also be on the ballot next month, and they were not included in this debate simply because we have the candidates for the two parties who between themselves got about 98%, but we don't want to be too exclusive. They both are always welcome here. Maybe we can someday set up something and get them here at a forum, but for the journalists who are here, both of them will be around afterwards if you have any questions of either of them. I just wanted to remind you all of two events we'll have next week. We'll have Senator Thad Cochran at 4:30 next Wednesday, the 22nd, followed by his challenger, Eric Fleming, 4:30 next Thursday, October 23rd. We'll also have a reception at the conclusion of this program upstairs. I hope you all will come on up for that. And now I'm going to turn the program over to John Scott, who is the news editor of the Oxford Eagle. He also teaches journalism here, and he's going to be in charge. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Curtis. It's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, and thank you to the candidates for coming out, and I want to thank Curtis and the staff here at the Overby Center for doing all the legwork and putting this together. Our format this afternoon will be fairly simple. We're going to start with opening remarks. We flipped a coin right outside there. We have witnesses, and Greg Davis won the toss, so he will start off with a 3-minute opening statement, and then Mr. Childers will follow with an opening statement. After that, I will ask the first couple of questions. The way the format works, we agreed I'll ask Mr. Childers the first question, have 2 minutes to respond to it. Mr. Davis will follow up with a 2-minute response, and then if there's any follow-up necessary, we'll try to keep that to a minute or less. Let's see. I'm going to I've asked Curtis here to help with keeping time. He has a little sign with 30 seconds, 10 seconds to kind of help keep track of how it's going. We're going to try to keep it to an hour. If we're having a good time and enjoying ourselves, we may go over just a little bit. Quick introduction, Greg Davis, far left, your far right here, is the Republican. He grew up in DeSoto County, attended public schools there, I do believe, and earned a degree in civil engineering from Mississippi State University. After college, he worked as an engineer and a consultant. He was elected to the State House of Representatives and served there from 1991 to 97. He was elected mayor of South Haven in 97, and he is now serving his third term in that growing city. He and his wife have 3 children. Mr. Childers, the Democrat, grew up in Prentiss County. He attended Northeast Mississippi Junior College and the University of Mississippi. He graduated in 1980 from Ole Miss with a degree in business administration. While at Ole Miss, he was licensed as a realtor, and after working for a few other real estate businesses, he went out on his own and is the owner of Travis Childers Realty and Associates. He was elected as the Chancery Clerk of Prentiss County and served 16 years in that position. He and his wife have 2 children. As was mentioned, as everyone knows, these 2 gentlemen have met before in a special election this spring. Mr. Childers won that election, and since May has been serving as the congressman from the 1st District here of Mississippi. With that, I think we'll start the forum. The first question, I'd like to ask is about the number one issue, I think, on the minds of most people here in Mississippi and around the country, which is the economy. Oh, I'm sorry, opening statements.
We were going to go with the flow.
Yeah, okay, I
You're in
appreciate
charge.
that. No, Mr. Davis, if you would start us off with an opening statement.
For the last 17 years, I've had the opportunity of serving the individuals of DeSoto County, first as their state representative, and now as mayor of the city of South Haven. And as mayor of the city of South Haven over the last 11 years, 10,000 jobs have been created. And we focused on what I think is important and what our resident thinks is important, and that is job creation and protecting the families that move into our territory. And while the crime rate to the north of us has accelerated at a rapid rate, the city of South Haven has been able to maintain a safe place for individuals to live, keeping our federal crime index at 1.8, with the city of Memphis at 18.5. And we've done that by setting priorities in our spending and what we do with our money that the people of South Haven entrust us with. And I say, don't take that lightly. It is the money that our people entrust us with as elected officials. And for that reason, one year when we had some money at the end of a budget year, we created the first ever municipal tax rebate and returned the money back to those who rightfully owned it in the first place. And even in this past year's budget and hard economic times, our board and I felt that it was crucial that not only do we maintain our tax status, but we cut property taxes, fulfilling a promise that we had said many years ago that as we began to pay down debt for all the improvements that we made, we'd return the money back to you. And we've been able to do that by cutting governmental bureaucracy and big government and simplifying it and making it easier for businesses to come in and easier for citizens to get work done at City Hall. And now we're asking for that chance to take that no-nonsense approach to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is broken. Billions of dollars are spent on a daily basis. There's no budget that has been passed this year, even though they've had 9 months to do so. And even in the economic crisis time that we had, with the economy failing and businesses failing, in the continuing resolution, Congress thought it was appropriate to stick $6.6 billion in pork barreling projects into a bill to keep government funded instead of doing their job and passing a balanced budget. I'm here today to tell you that if I given the chance to go to Washington, D.C., I will stand up against the liberal left. We're ready to fight for the unborn. We're ready to fight for job protections. We're ready to fight for the sanctity of marriage. And we're ready to fight to protect our Second Amendment rights. We're ready to fight to get back to the basics and to allow Americans to once again become independent of the federal government, not dependent on its rules and regulations and funding. Today, the stock market plunged again. Retail sales dropped the largest they have dropped in 3 years. We have got to get back to basics. Those basics are believing and practicing what's on every piece of our currency. In God we trust. Passing a balanced budget and cutting the big government that has grown out of control in order to stimulate our growth and jobs in the 1st District. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Childers.
I too want to thank you all for being here. I especially want to thank those of you at the Overby Center. I want to thank the University of Mississippi, my alma mater, for sponsoring this second debate. Thank you for sponsoring the one for Greg and me back in May. We appreciate every single one of you who came to support one of us or just simply came because you're interested in your government. I was very pleased and honored